Hello everyone, Chef here. Weezer, like any band that's been around for the amount of time they have over the years, here and there, have had a lot, and I mean a lot of songs that were made and intended to be on an album, but for a different reasoning depending on the song, they never ended up making it onto anything, and instead end up in the back catalogue of an artist, where the song ends up getting released on a box set collection of demos and B-sides on an anniversary of one of their projects. The two Weezer songs that were just in the back catalogue of his Chromo both managed to end up onto the same album 20 plus years later, after their original creation. So, why is this? Why after all this time would they choose to put them on an album? Well, join me today as I take a look at I've Thrown It All Away and Sheila Can Do It. I've Thrown It All Away is a song that dates back all the way to 1992, 2 years before the Blue Album and a couple months after the recording of Weezer's third demo tape called The Real Tape. The song was written by Rivers and had co-writing credits for Jason Cropper and Pat Wilson. The song is about how Rivers felt at the time of moving out of his parents' home, and it's quite melancholy in sound. This time period, from the start of their first demo tape to the creation of I've Thrown It All Away, was one of creation and work. Songs kept on being made, and in the span of a couple of months, 3 demo tapes had already been made in the attempt to grab the attention of a record label to get them signed. The first rendition of I've Thrown It All Away was firstly not called I've Thrown It All Away, but a shortened version to Thrown It All Away, and was recorded by Pat, who recorded a version of the song with only drum and bass to a 4-track recorder, which he then recorded to a Yamaha workstation. Rivers himself then recorded the song in February of 1993, including in a personal demo tape known as Monterey Jack. Fast forward a couple of years to after the Blue Album released in 1996, Rivers was in Harvard, and a couple of months before he dropped out and made Pinkerton, Rivers started writing songs, some of which, like The Good Life, Across the Sea, and Falling For You, would end up on Pinkerton, and others, like Sheila Can Do It, did not. The song was originally called Rachel, inspired by Rachel Hayden, a friend of Rivers who was also in Matt Sharp's band, The Rentals. Then, after the release and flop of Pinkerton, Rivers formed Homie, a project comprised of the rest of the members of Weezer. It was basically just a way for Rivers to still write music, but to keep it under the radar, choosing to play shows locally instead of having massive tours. Think of it like him having a secret alias. And Sheila Can Do It was also one of the songs performed on a frequent basis in these shows, was also recorded for a demo tape for Homie, and for the scrapped Homie album. Then, nothing, for both songs. They weren't necessarily forgotten about, more cast to one side. Rivers and Weezer, or Homie, kept on making more songs. It was only until 1998 he realised how many demos he had in his back catalogue. As I said before, Weezer had disbanded, and Rivers was playing shows as Homie, and in this time of Weezer's hiatus, Rivers got the idea for a demo compilation album and went to Geffen to ask if he could make it, but was declined because they didn't want to dilute the Weezer name by putting out less polished material. And it won't be until 9 years later where the idea resurfaced and Rivers came back persistently asking for them to allow him to go ahead with it, and they finally allowed him to and let him release the first instalment of Alone in 2007. The Alone series is a story in itself, but what's important for this story is that Rivers wanted to put his demos out there, and with Alone 2 considered Thrown It All Away to be on it. As he posted the song's title, still going under Thrown It All Away, in a spreadsheet with the 4 and 5 star demos of Rivers' Chromo. The spreadsheet created so he could easily whittle out what demos were good enough to be on Alone. Then about 6 or 7 years later, while in the process of starting to make their 9th album that would turn into U-Bait, Rivers considered Sheila Can Do It to be a track on the album, but was shortly scrapped. And again, the songs were pushed to one side and were left, forgotten about, until Rivers started to work on Van Weezer. In April of 2020, Rivers said that a Homie song and a song written in 1992 will both appear on Van Weezer. And a couple of days later, in a Zoom meeting, Rivers sang a small section of the newly extended name of Thrown It All Away, I've Thrown It All Away, and on the 2nd of September, Rivers confirmed that he recorded I've Thrown It All Away with the rest of the band. And in the same month, on the 18th, in Weezer Chord, the official Weezer Discord server, Jason Cropper, an original member of Weezer, played a portion of the song in a concert he held on the server. And in December of 2020, Rivers made the original I've Thrown It All Away alongside Sheila Can Do It and a bunch of other demos from around that time, able to be purchased from his demo store. Then, the release of Van Weezer, but what? Where's I've Thrown It All Away? Sheila Can Do It is there, but where's I've Thrown It All Away? Well, I've Thrown It All Away was put on the Van Weezer vinyl as a hidden track. Yeah, I know it kinda sucks that it's a hidden track since people were sort of waiting for it, but YouTube's there for a reason. And it's a nice surprise to hear it if you bought the vinyl and didn't know about it. So, why did it take Weezer, or Rivers, 20 years to put these songs onto an album? Well, it's a mix of things really. It seems like Rivers wanted these songs to be on an album since he made them. He he just needed to find the right time, the right album. And with Van Weezer sort of going back to the pop rock roots of Weezer, it was a perfect time for him to re-record them and put them onto an album, finally. I started making this video only knowing about I've Thrown It All Away being an older song. Through a Reddit post I made, I found out that Sheila Can Do It has a very similar story to I've Thrown It All Away. So thanks to you/metaldetox for sharing the info with me. Without it, you would have only had about half of this video. And also thank you for weezerpedia. Without it, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be known, so massive thank you to both of you. Well, this video is my foray into the world of Weezer, I guess. I will do some more videos on Weezer since their story is quite interesting. Well, it seems there's quite a high demand for content about them. But if you like this video, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is all for now. See ya. And in the same month on the 18th, in Weezer chord. Right. God, fucking server.